Yes. Yeah, it's gonna be all right. We do this thing in the day, not the night. Today is the day that we gonna make it our way. And I got a little something to say. It's the Urban Therapy with Sun Show, and I'm glad to be here, standing in front of this camera, yo. And I feel like a real man should, you know I would, and I'm thinking that it's getting understood that we gonna talk about a little something about a Petty Murphy, yo. I see Cersei. Yo, Urban Therapy with Sun Show. I'm your host, Sun752. And this morning on the Urban Therapy with Sun Show, we're talking about they can be petty, but you can't. So we're going to talk about how sometimes people do things to you that are definitely petty, that they really didn't have to do, or they're disrespectful to you in many ways. And you're in a position where you can't match their energy. What's good now? Now, more than likely, we have all found ourselves in this situation at one time or another where we weren't able to respond to somebody in the disrespectful or the ill way that they responded to us or that they came at us. You know, it can really get under your skin when somebody comes at your neck and you can't come at their neck back. And it's like that. And what you're going to do can't come through. It's not a good situation for you. Now, we're not even talking about a situation where somebody could harm you, but we could be. But we're talking about a situation where matching their energy could harm yourself, or it could make things just a little bit worse for you in the future. Now, when you really think about that, throwing caution to the wind, if you watch social media or if you participate in social media nowadays, you would think that everybody was just off the chain, off the charts, and just goes with their first emotional response that they can think of, but it's really not like that. Somebody has to be the bigger person, and sometimes being the bigger person can make you feel like the smaller person when you are all by yourself. Talk about mental health, emotional health. That's what you need, and you sometimes make your eyes bleed. But listen, we're going to get into all of that because you might have to take the high road when it comes to your family. Yes. You might have to take the high road when it comes to your co-workers. Yeah. Sometimes out there in the streets, when you're out there trying to get money, you're just trying to navigate yourself from one place to another. You might find yourself having to take the high road then. I'm talking to you going to get together, my friend. Word. So let's get into it. Urban Therapy with Sun752. This is the Urban Therapy with Sun show. We do this every single Sunday from 11 a.m. till around 12:30-ish. And the reason that we say 12:30-ish is because sometimes it gets so heated that we just have to do a little OT on a Sunday. And it is Sunday. And it is Sunday. This is the show where adults come out and play with other adults. We laugh, we cry, we argue, fuss, and fight, go back and forth with each other, bust it up all crazy. We play on the monkey bars and the swings and push each other up the sliding board, and we play in the sandbox and on the merry-go. Anyway, we take an introspective look into our own personality to see the way the universe projects us into this thing called the world and try to figure out this thing called life and the way that we fit into it. I'm your host, Sun752, aka Omar with the and if you can't say Omar with the well, then you just say Omar with the R. Let's get it popping, y'all. This is the Urban Therapy with Sun show. And today we are talking about they can be petty, but you can't. I said they can be petty, but you can't. I said they can be petty, but they can be petty, but you can't. They can't be. They can be. You can't respond. I said they can be petty, but you can't. I said they can be petty, but you can't. You might want to rave and rant, but you can't. You better stand down, bitch, strong like an ant. But that means you got to carry the weight. And you know sometimes that shit is what you hate. But they showing hate to you. Do you respond the same what they did to you? Well, might not be the best time you going to have to get them later. Yo, chill. So, okay. What's going on, my peoples out there? Stacy White, what's going on, man? Stacy White coming through. It's always good to see y'all. See you, without a doubt. And my brother from another mother, Norris Hill. Sit back, relax, do your thing, max, and chill. Thanks for coming on, brother. Thanks for coming on now. It's good to see you on this weekend. Yo, without a doubt. And Emily Dunlap is in the house. Wow, she about to turn it out. My tea carry white morning, noon, and night. It's always great to have my peoples in your sight. So. It's Cherry Dana. It's Cinderella Dana. Well, it's the woman Dana with fame. Cinderella Dana. Well, it's the one that I gotta get myself together. Well, it's the woman Dana with fame and job bigs. What's going on? That's my Houston kid. Always coming through, representing. You know that he did. So when you talk about they can be petty, but you can't. Let's talk about the word petty. Number one. First out the gate, let's talk about the word petty. Because nowadays, people have taken the word petty to mean disrespectful. Disrespectful, basically. You know, like, yeah, I'm gonna let such and such know, what they're dealing with or who they're dealing with when they dealing with me. So I'm gonna do something disrespectful to them. I'm going to come at their neck a little bit. I'm going to hurt them a little bit. Not a lot, just a little bit. But I'm going to put something on their mind. But petty really means small and insignificant. That's what petty means. It means small and insignificant. Something that's not large. Something that is not big. You're never thinking about the big picture when you decide to be petty. But people decide to be petty a lot nowadays. And maybe I shouldn't blame social media, but I will tell you this. I have never heard of anybody bragging about being petty until social media came through. I never heard that. Matter of fact, we used to talk about being petty back in the day, and that was a diss. Like, oh, damn, you trying to say that I ain't really about shit. Like, I don't be representing. Well, yeah. Yeah, when you're petty, you playing small ball. You pitching underhanded. And I say that you pitching underhanded because you're hitting below the belt a lot of times when you're being petty. So, you couldn't beat the Goliath with a slingshot like David did. So you're just talking about Goliath's mom. Talk about his shoes. Yeah, I get it, Goliath. Yeah, you would knock my head off, but you can't get no girls with your ugly ass. Petty. Matter of fact, let's get into it. Let's look up the word petty, because I don't want y'all to have to take my word for it. Petty. Definition of the word petty.
Petty means of little importance.
It says of little importance. Trivial. Of little importance. Trivial. I mean, people be thinking I'm bullshitting because there is so much pettiness out here that we've basically changed the meanings. We've changed the meaning in our minds, but it means what it means. It means what it means. It does mean small. It does mean trivial. It does mean insignificant. It doesn't matter a whole lot. Like, I bet you something. You would rather be convicted of petty larceny than grand larceny. Petty larceny is any crime, any theft under the with the value under $1,000. Grand larceny is when you steal something that's more than $1,000. So you're gonna have the answer for that. Petty. But we probably encounter pettiness every day. You out there on the road driving. Somebody is cutting people off in traffic or talking on their phone while with the phone to their ear, no hands free, no headphones, none of that shit. and they're not that good at talking on the phone and driving at the same time. So they all over the road. How many of y'all come across this on a regular basis? You driving down the street and somebody is not staying in their lane. They're not staying in their lane. So they swerving. They making you nervous because you're like, yo, I need to get past this person. But you finding it hard to get past them because they damn near riding on the middle of the line. The white lines, the white separated lines are dividing the lanes. And they damn near in the middle of that shit. So it's not enough room for you on the right side. It's not enough room for you on the left side. So when you beep to alert them that they're not paying attention to what's going on the road, what happens when you finally get enough space to drive by it? They mad at you. So they stick their finger, fuck you. And they dead wrong. Petty. Petty. And people often will do some petty shit when they dead wrong and they don't really have a defense for the things that they've done. Like I said, you know that somebody can beat you physically. So what do? You talk about their mom. You talk about their clothes. You talk about their manhood or their hair or they, something like that, something to hurt their feelings. We get petty on them. But I'm sorry, they get petty on you. But what happens when you're ready to get as petty as they are? Because you might have it in you. You have just as much wherewithal. You have just as much ammo in your gun or in your arsenal to be able to match anybody's insults, anybody's pettiness. You have enough, but it might not be for you. That might not be a good time for you. That might not be a good look for you. On the job. If you're in a leadership position, you're a manager or supervisor or whatever, and you're dealing with an employee that's being totally disrespectful, totally insubordinate. They're cussing, they're insulting, they're dissing, they're fronting, they just out of control. Out of control. Getting on that straight bullshit. As a manager, you can't match their pettiness. You can't match their energy because if they yell at you and you yell at them back, you are at fault because you're supposed to be bigger than them and you're supposed to handle the situation better than them. If they curse at you and you curse at them back, you are at fault and you're going to bite the bullet and you're going to get in trouble. If they punch you in the face, and unfortunately, I know about this. If they physically assault you or harm you or try to harm you, you have to stand down. You don't necessarily have to take the punch in the face, but you can't handle that and finish the fight the way you would with somebody else out in the street in a better situation where you were better evenly matched. So let's say they shove you or they punch you or they smack you. You got to grab their hands like, no, don't fucking do that. Oops, didn't mean to curse. But they'll excuse the curse, but they won't excuse it if you sock them in the face. You know what I mean? You know you punch somebody in the nose and their eyes start tearing and shit, and you know what I mean? You basically have the upper hand in them. So if you pick them up and body slam their asses like they had it coming to them, then you're going to get fired. You were excessive. Sort of like in football, when somebody runs out of bounds and you tackle them, you may have been in the act of tackling them before they went out of bounds. Unnecessary roughness. You get an unnecessary roughness penalty, even though the quarterback was outside the pocket. but he went out of bounds and you hit him after he went out of bounds, even though there's no way you could have stopped yourself because you were already in motion. But you can't match their petty. That's the bottom line. You get in trouble for matching their pettiness, for matching their energy. So what is the long-term emotional effects of not matching someone's energy or pettiness towards you? It can get ugly, baby. It can get ugly. Yeah. You know what I don't like? First of all, I need my glasses to be able to see. But I'll be watching other content creators on Reels and on YouTube. And you know, when you put on your glasses have a reflection. So I can tell when they're using one of those ring lights, you know, the ring lights where you put the phone in the middle of the ring and it, you know. See, I don't use ring lights. I use professional lights. But I don't want y'all to see that shit. So y'all can see something because I can see it. But y'all can't see no ring light because I don't have no ring light. Okay. That was random. I know. That's some techie shit right there. All right. All right. Emily says, "Oh, yes, I can. I hear you. I hear you." Emily says, "I sure do. People be trying me like I can't get down to their level of petty." Somebody like me would say, "Well, why would you want to get down to their level of petty?" I mean, you know, I ain't gonna front. My thing is, I always think about my feelings for the future. So on a personal level, I try not to do things that are only going to make me feel good in the moment. I try. I'm not always successful, but I try. I try to do things that are going to give me a long-lasting effect of good feelings. I try. You know, I try to say goodbye and I choke. Try to walk away and I stumble. Try to... Okay. Shout out to my cousin, Natalie McIntyre, a.k.a. Macy Gray. Anybody front on my cousin? They got to deal with me. Natalie McIntyre. That is her real name, and that is my cousin. Probably. Cherry says, they used to label women as petty, but nowadays there's so many petty men. You ain't never done lied. And they running around here glorifying themselves for being petty. I call it the skinny jean disease. They got that skinny jean disease. Sucre chez toi. Sucre JDX. What's going on, man? Good to see me some. Good to see me some you. Emily says, I just don't go low like them. Okay. My brother from another mother, Norris Hill, says, I was told one asshole is better than two. Or was it reversed? Two assholes ain't no better than one? Maybe. Oh, I remember. One is powerless without an audience. That's true. But the thing is, what happens in a situation where it is just you against them, and for whatever reason, you have to take their disrespect? Now, it would be easy to say that, no, you never have to take anybody's disrespect. But there are situations where it just wouldn't be a good idea for you to exercise disrespect over somebody else. There are plenty of situations where it would be better for you to stand down. And there could be a physical threat. There could. There could be a physical threat involved. But even away from a physical threat, it just made, you know how they say that you never know who knows somebody else? You just never know. Have any of you ever been on a job or in a situation where somebody's son, somebody's daughter, somebody's cousin was off the chain with the disrespect and the pettiness and all that old bullshit, but you were looking for an opportunity? You were looking for an opportunity in a certain type of area, and you knew that if you matched the energy of that petty son, daughter, cousin, friend, significant person, you knew that the story would be spun in a situation. It would be spun in a certain way that would make you look like you were the aggressor, and an opportunity could be taken away from you that would have been given to you if you just stood down. So you had to bite your tongue for a minute. You had to hold your feelings for a minute. In your mind, you may be feeling like you're being a punk, but you're not. You're doing what's best for you for the future. You need this job. You need this money. You need this partnership. There may be a greater purpose out there for you that you are in search of, and you don't want to let this person, this individual, mess everything up for you. But the long-term emotional effects are that you might be alone in your room, sitting up in my room, back here thinking about you. I'm just a mess, should have punched on you. And there have been times when you may have been in your room just like, I swear to God, I'm going to get that motherfucker. I'm going to get him, 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 I'm going to get that motherfucker. He ain't going to live this one down. He won't be around to clown. You tried to clown me. I don't think that you should have done it. I'm about to run this fist right through your teeth. It's going to hit you on the tongue, and the shit hung out of your eye socket. I'm going to hit you fast like a rocket. Yo, no Jeff Bezos shit. I'm going to rearrange your shit. Right about now. You tried to clown me. Now you're going down. Down. Next time you know better than mess around. But that's what you probably need to do later on in the interim, in the immediate sense. Right now, brother, right now, sister, you gotta keep your mouth shut. And keeping your mouth shut is a hard thing for some people to do. What the hell? What the hell? Oh, okay. What the hell? You know what I'm saying? I was seeing something odd. Make sure y'all hit that like button, y'all. Make sure that y'all share the show. Make sure that y'all subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet. It is the Urban Therapy with Sun show, and I'm so glad to be here with y'all on another Sunday. Y'all know how we doing. Y'all know how we getting down right now. Y'all know how we getting down right now, son. So we're here on the weekends, 11 o'clock. Don't get smart, y'all. Don't be petty. And we're here on a daily basis, somewhere between 11 p.m. and 11:30 p.m. So I need y'all to search for this show. Just go to the YouTube channel and see what's going on, because more than likely I'm going to be on live at that time. So I want to make sure my people hear me. I want me. For real though. So that's how it's going down. Me coming online on a daily basis at night is contingent upon me getting off work at a certain time. So you know what I'm saying? Yeah, I'm saying I need y'all to come through and represent. Can you do it? But for right now, share the show, subscribe to the channel, and hit that like button. Hit that like button. Don't be petty. Don't be fronting. Okay, so when you can't match their petty, they can be petty, but you can't. Maybe it's a situation where they haven't been trained. They don't have no home training. They don't have no home training. How many times have you been around not just children, but people, grown-ups, straight adults that don't have no home training or sure don't appear to have had any? They don't appear to have had none. And when you have had a lot of home training, when you have been disciplined, when you have discipline, I'm not just talking about when you have been disciplined. You know, we look at that word and we think that just means that you got your ass whooped on a regular basis. You know, when you've been disciplined, you've been corrected. That's all. You've been corrected. There have been times where you may have been out of pocket and you were put back in pocket. You were corrected. You were straightened out. And that's a good thing, especially for children, because they can't be expected to know their own way. But then they make it to adulthood and they still don't know their own way. So they still on that bullshit. They still on it. They still on the bullshit. They still on that craziness. So you might find yourself in a position where you are having to directly deal with somebody that don't have no home training. So it's your abundance of home training against their lack of home training. So you can find yourself in a silly ass argument that's going nowhere, or in a shouting match or a screaming match because you decided to match their energy. You shouldn't have done it. What's the point in being a bigger person if you're going to take time out to be small at their request? Speaking of being a bigger person, how many of y'all agree with that? Does standing down, does taking the high road mean that you are the bigger person? Do you feel big? Do you feel big when you allow somebody to disrespect you? Do you feel big when you allow somebody to be petty towards you? Do you feel big when you allow somebody to embarrass you or humiliate you publicly because you were trying to do something else, or because you have been trained to handle situations in a certain type of way instead of just matching negative energy? Because if y'all were anything like me, when y'all grew up, you had teachers and other adults, leaders, coaches, and directors telling you to be the bigger person. Don't worry about them over there. Don't worry about this, that, and the third. Don't worry about this, that, or that. You be the bigger person. You don't have to do what they do. You don't have to act the way they act. You don't have to be the way that they are. And you like, I'm feeling mad bloodthirsty right now. I'm ready to whoop ass. And it's not always a violent thing. Sometimes you might just want to tell the truth, put them in their place, give them a dose of their own medicine. And there may be times when you lack the self-control to be able to not do that. Or let's make it sound a little bit more innocent. There may be times when you have seen the bigger picture and the better picture, and you decided to go along with that, instead of allowing yourself to be held back, pulled back, or distracted by those who don't seem to not know how to act like a hooligan. Okay, Emily says sometimes that's the only language a person understands, so I let them know I know their language. Okay. Cherry says it depends on the situation. I remember being at a job and this chick tried to go low. I looked her up and down. No need to say anything. God already got her. Interesting. So you saying that she was ugly? Well, that's a petty thought there, but it's kind of impressive that you were able to not say that. Like I'm pretty, you're ugly, but you're coming at my neck. I could easily chop you down like George Washington in the cherry tree. That's a good one though, Dana. Because that one happens a lot. That can happen a lot. Like you are basically a small animal in this jungle with large prey. You are a small, weak animal out here with this large, dangerous prey out here. No. Because if you're small, you are the prey. You're out here with these predators. Yeah, you're out there with the predators. Excuse me. And you talking shit. When all I would have to do is be like, no disrespect, but you're ugly. And I don't allow ugly people to be, coming at my neck. I don't care if I can't type 100 words per minute. You might be able to type, you might be like a typing prodigy. You can type 120 words per minute. Like nothing I ever saw. But you can't get no boyfriend. Petty, 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 petty. Petty Murphy, petty Murphy, petty Murphy. Petty Betty, baby, petty Betty, baby. Nara says some petty people can see retaliation in the works and stop the stupidity before they get it up, before they get lit up. Mm-hmm. I've seen them get stopped in their tracks before. That's word. Stacy White says, sometimes I have to keep my mouth. I guess you mean keep my mouth shut until my intuition tells me to say something. That's called self-control right there. That's all that is. That's called self-control. And you can never have too much of it. T. Carrie Wright, morning, noon, and night. She says, I felt like I couldn't feed into my ex-husband's petty. Like he was purposely trying to get me upset or angry so he could say, she's horrible too. Wow. Let's see. Lorena Short. What's going on, Lorena Short? Vask Tech? Damn, Cherry says, my husband was like that too. Oh, my bad. Never mind. It no longer says that. Okay, Emily says, that's not what she said. Oh, but okay, we'll go with that. Yes, she did. She said, I looked her up and down. No need to say anything. God got her already. I don't know what you think she's saying, but I know what she's saying. If God got her, That means, yeah. Ain't that what you meant, Dana Dane? See, Dana too humble to call somebody ugly. She's a different kind of red bone. she not you. She don't be exercising her red bone authority. I see we have a call on the line. I didn't know. We have a call on the line. Caller with the last number is 7019. And if y'all would like to call into the show, y'all can call in number 319-527-6199. 319-527-6199, y'all. All right, so caller with the last number 7019. Thank you for holding. Welcome to the Urban Therapy with Sun Show. What's on your mind this evening? I'm sorry, this morning. Is it still morning? Yeah.
Well, first, I'm gonna try not to be petty. I held on for a long time.
Thank you. That I appreciate out the gate. Now I'll have to cut your mic off because that's petty. That's back petty. That's petty back. I want to petty back off of what you're saying. Mom, give me a pet. Can you ride me petty back? No, never mind. Anyway, what's up? What's going on?
All right. So I just wanted to comment because in the beginning you were saying about being petty about being disrespectful, and you mentioned that someone mentioned that without an audience, one has no power. Mm-hmm. And I kind of agree but disagree because sometimes, like, petty in the urban sense, the way we use the word is more like being vengeful or just having the time to stoop down to someone's level or match their energy, that I should say. Mm-hmm. Because a lot of times it's not about, the thing is not disrespectful in a sense. It's more like, you said something or did something that I felt, hurt my feelings or something. So now, I'm going to get you back kind of thing. Or I'm going to say something that's equally as hurtful or more hurtful than what you said or did.
Yeah.
And a lot of times there really doesn't have to be an audience because, when you know it, that's all that matters. Like, it's like, okay, I said X, Y, and Z. It could just be between two people and nobody really knows unless they share it with somebody else, just for the laugh of it all. Mm-hmm. But yeah, a lot of times it can be between, just the people who are involved in the situation. Of course, it's probably gonna blow up bigger than it would be if other people know about it. So that just sort of amplifies the hurt or, the get back, I should say.
Yeah. So what we're really talking about is when it's not a good idea for you to strike back. Basically, it's like somebody hit you, but you can't hit them back, or they hit you hard and you can only hit them back soft. Like mm-hmm. for the moment, for example, they have an advantage over you. They may have an influential advantage over you. I don't know if you've ever had a teacher. I don't know if you've ever had a teacher or aunt or uncle or your mom, dad, or whatever that showed a little bit of favor towards another child. You know what I mean? It's sort of like, let's say you were the bigger brother. I'm sorry. Well, in your case, the bigger sister, and your little sister was always picking on you, always getting in trouble, always acting crazy, but everybody always gave your little sister her way. So if your little sister did something to you, disrespectful or hit you or something, and you hit her back, it was like, yo, you too big to be hitting your sister like that. Not knowing that your little sister be trying to hit like she really, like she on some Adrian Broner shit. You understand? But they don't see, they don't seem to see when your little sister is acting crazy. So, if your little sister hits you or does something to irritate you really, really bad, and she has it coming, you still have to You got to get your sister all by herself, to discipline her the way you, or pay her back the way she needs to be paid back. But you may know that even with that, she's going to go and report it like you tried to murder her or something like that. You understand what I mean? Mm-hmm. So you have to handle that in a certain type of way. So that's really what we're talking about. We're not talking about whether you can, or whether you have the ability to match their energy. It's like, does the situation benefit you in the immediate sense or in the long run if you do it? Because you could get messed up behind this. You know what I mean?
Right.
So yeah, that's a tough situation to be in. Me being.
I guess it depends on the environment and why in that moment you feel like you can't be petty back. Some people just won't be petty regardless of the situation. But I guess like you were saying in a work environment, of course, that's not an area where you may have the ability to match someone else's energy. Outside of that, or in the situation where you just explained, like when you're a child, and a parent is favoring one child over the other one. But I think even in those situations, you find an opportunity where you can. So it may not be in the moment, but you definitely feel the need to pay some retribution or be vengeful because you want to pay that person back for hurting you, even if it can be in that moment. Yeah. But work definitely excludes you from being able to get it off in the immediate sense.
Yeah. When you at work, you really have to exercise self-control. But I'm sure that somewhere in your work experience, you've seen people who haven't controlled themselves and they got away with the shit. And you're like, what? Huh? You know what I'm saying? So your training. I'm sorry, what you say?
I'm saying there definitely are people who have a certain reputation for being, I guess, loud, boisterous, have a certain reputation. And because everybody acknowledges that's who that person is, it's like, oh, well, they're just being them, So, but if someone else does it, it's like, don't do that because you hurt somebody's feelings or, So there's definitely people who get a pass, I would say, based on their reputation or their character.
Yeah, it's a tough situation. It really is. Because, okay, your training may be to always exercise self-control. You may have been trained, groomed, directed, and steered towards always looking for the better solution, the greater long-term solution to certain problems. And it can be tough to hold on to those trainings when you see other people advancing by doing the exact opposite of controlling themselves. Like, okay, I've been a manager in almost every job that I've ever had. So, like, for example, there have been times in my career where people have gotten extremely petty, extremely disrespectful. And there were times when I had to think, like, in my mind, I'm thinking, yo, dude, damn well you can't beat me. That's what I'm thinking, But I have to ask myself, like, is them knowing and you knowing that they can't beat you, is that enough? Because in this arena, they seem to have more power, unless you really exercise your power to grant them the gift that they have been so subliminally asking for. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, you might have to give them a gift. It's not about violence, but like let's say on your job somebody criticizes the way you dress. And you're thinking like, dude, you fat and you ugly. But you can't say that. So sometimes you might just have to let your eyes do the talking. Like, well, listen, we got to get this work done over here. So we're going to concentrate on that. Meanwhile, you thinking like, yo, are you kidding me? Like, you got to be kidding me. You know what I'm saying? So the bottom line is they can be petty, but you can't be petty. You may have grown up in a household where you were constantly trained and told not to well, let's say this. You were constantly trained to be the bigger person. Time after time. You were never able to go home to your mom or your dad or whoever and tell them like, listen, such and such did this to me and they really hurt my feelings, or they maybe, or I really didn't like what they did. And you may have grown up around parents who told you constantly, listen, those people or that person, the reason that they're doing this is because of this. And the reason that I don't want you to respond to them the way they coming at you is because you have this, you have us, and you're better than that. And when you watch what's going on with you versus them in the future, you're going to see you being here and you're going to see them being there. And they won't even have the ability to look towards this time of when they're acting the way that they're acting to know why you're up here now and they're down here. You understand what I mean? So even though you may not have liked those teachings at the time, like, why can't you be one of those moms or dads that tell you, oh, if somebody hits you, hit them back? Why can't you? You know how it is when you a child. That's how you be feeling. Like you see other people, moms telling them, well, if somebody put their hands on you, then you do what you got to do. Pick up a 40 bottle. I don't know what it is. When we was younger. It just seems like there were 40 bottles all over the place. You know what I mean? To bust somebody upside the head with. Like, nope. He pushed me. So I had to go upside his head with a 40 bottle. Anyway, the bottom line is you may have grown up under the tutelage of leadership that would not allow you to think recklessly, or would not allow you to think in a retaliatory way. They said, no, you're going to be bigger than that. But did you feel bigger than that? Did you feel it?
I think that's the point, because I think, in situations like that, I think those types of instructions are better in theory rather than in practice. And I think experience teaches you to find balance, right? So, there are some situations where you do need to exercise self-control. But then there are other situations where, you need to protect yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And if nothing else, let people know how to treat you. So, that's where the balance comes in. And although the intentions may be good by teaching your children, to be the bigger person, it's also important for them to know that they can and should protect themselves. And it's not always about being violent, because it doesn't always take that. But sometimes it does.
Let me ask you something that you may have to think about for a while. What was the
Okay.
what was the last situation of pettiness that you had to deal with, and how does that compare to when you were younger and a petty situation that may have been waged against you then? Do you remember the last petty situation where somebody tried to get petty with you?
Yeah, of course, there are plenty of instances where people are petty. But I think the difference is now, I want to say that I have less tolerance for pettiness, right? So I think when I was younger, I probably would have shrugged it off. No. Yeah, no. Um, I was very vocal as a child in terms of when I felt like someone said something or did something, and I was straight to the source, straight to the point. Like, okay, even if I got the information secondhand, I'm like, well, nothing to talk about. I'm just going to go to the person and tell them to tell me to my face or whatever it was they said. Now, I think, you know, now I think I'm a little bit more creative in how I address being petty, especially being in a position of leadership and being a business owner and all of those things. You know, when you come across people of all different walks of life and you realize that everything isn't personal, and that people have their own issues and dealing with things on a daily, that you realize that sometimes what you term as being petty towards you may have nothing to do with you. But sometimes it's important to check people, you know, and to let them know that what they're doing is wrong. But sometimes you have to do it a little bit more creatively. It can't be, you know, like what you see on the internet, you know. So, right. So I think now the difference is, like I said, experience teach you, you know, you have to find balance. And I think sometimes it doesn't have to be derogatory for a person to get the message, right? It can just be sarcasm for people to understand. And sarcasm can be a form of petty. So, but as long as the message comes across the right way. And people get it.
People get it. Now,
yeah, because I think now as your vocabulary grows, you find better ways to respond to people. You know, because in my younger years, I thought cursing was the best thing. You know, once I felt I could use it freely, you know, cursing was almost my first language. However, once I learned how, you know, to check somebody just with my words and not even, you know, doing it, you know, using derogatory words, then I think that is more long lasting and stings more than anything else.
Okay. All right. So, because I was wondering if the person has to receive the message in order for you to have executed your strike against them. Like, you know, you brought up as your vocabulary started to increase and improve, you found more creative ways to be able to basically diss them. But if they don't understand those diss words, like
well, sometimes it doesn't always have to be words, because the beauty in being in a position of leadership is that you have certain powers, right? And so sometimes when people do dumb things, sometimes when you just have the ability to check a person, not even with your words, it's like, okay, have it your way. Let's play ball, you know. So sometimes there are other ways that you know, can be petty.
I understand. I totally understand. All right, hold on for a second. We have another caller on the line. Caller with the last numbers 7852. Welcome to the Urban Therapy with Sun Show. Thank you. Wait a minute. It might work out better if I do it this way. Hold on, because this browser is acting a little funny. Hold on. Okay. All right, there you go. Welcome to the Urban Therapy with Sun Show. Thank you for holding. What's going on? How are you this afternoon? What's on your mind?
Yes, you are being very petty.
I'm being very petty?
Yes, you are.
Okay. Maybe you care to explain how I'm being petty, because I try to exercise a lot of self-control. So, try not to be petty. So maybe you can help me out.
I was just pacing my time.
Huh?
I was going to bed before the show was over, before I called in.
Okay. But what about the topic of discussion? What about the topic of discussion?
Oh, I'm very petty. I know that, and I shouldn't be. I don't like people to come for me. I like to protect myself.
Okay. So, all right.
If you come for me,
So if somebody attacks you, what would make your retaliation against them petty?
I do it in a nicer way. I'm very nice about it, with a smile. And people don't like the way I come at them anyway, so it is what it is. I don't hold hands to make you feel better. I got to make myself feel better.
All right, well, I'm trying to understand. Like I said, if somebody attacks you and you retaliate against them, what would make that petty? Like, they're already...
You're going to that will hurt them or say something that will hurt them. Then they're going to think I'm the bad person.
Well, were they the good person for attacking you first?
Sure.
Were they the good person for attacking you first?
They're never a good person. I'm always good. They're never good. I be trying to get people a chance. They don't appreciate it. So it is what it is. Right now.
Well, see, that's why I'm not understanding. Because if somebody is being petty with you and they attack you, let's just say, I don't know, randomly, let's say somebody talked about the way you wear your hair. What would make your response to them petty?
My response to them would be, I would tell them this is my hair and I wear it the way I want to wear it.
That doesn't sound very petty to me.
Some people say these hated people that I be around, they will take it as petty. These people here in the South, they're crazy. Well, I'm trying to get out.
Well, listen, I know a lot of people from the South, and they a lot more petty than that.
That's what I'm trying to get out. They're all petty. Like the person that shut up.
Well, what I'm saying is they're a lot more petty than your response to them. Like the people I know from down South, they're not just gonna say that it's their hair and they wear it the way they want to. That ain't what they're gonna say. It's gonna be a lot pettier than that, a lot more hurtful than that, a lot more. It's going to be a much greater attack. So you're giving me the impression that you don't really want to get into this, but you came on the show and you immediately said that you are very petty. Where the petty at? Where the petty at?
I'm trying to keep it classy at the same time as being petty.
Well, but okay. What we're talking about is when we're saying that they can be petty, but you can't. So what would be the reason that you couldn't match their energy, even though they attacked you? What would be some of the reasons why that would be the case?
Not to match their energy. Mm-hmm. Match it. I always match people's energy, good or bad. Like last night, I matched somebody's energy. Yeah, it was petty, and he didn't appreciate it, but it is what it is.
Have you ever been the first person to attack somebody in a petty way?
No.
Okay. You sure? You sure you don't want to think about that?
Yeah. I'm sure.
Okay.
I'm an angel.
You're a what?
I'm an angel.
Oh, you're an angel. Okay, yeah. We all are. We're all angels. Or we have the potential. I keep my wings in the back. You know what I'm saying? But okay. Well, I guess what I'm getting at when we're talking about what we're talking about is it's almost like it can almost feel like it's a situation where somebody has an advantage over you, or they have the upper hand on you because you have been taught or trained to exercise self-control, where they evidently have gotten the okay to be reckless, whether you're talking about verbally reckless or sometimes even reckless with their actions. But when we're talking about being petty, we're not even talking about something that's going to cause a lot of damage. But we all know that even little small things, little small jabs, little small insults and stuff like that, it can build up. The big picture is the result.
It does build up, and that's why I hope a lot of things inside till it doesn't build up so long. I hope things inside till I can't hold it anymore. And that's why people think I'm rude to them, because I don't hear some things there so long. And when you see me crying and tears in my eyes, it's not because I'm hurt. It's because I'm about to do something to you. Don't play with me.
So what are those, tears of terrorism?
Yeah, because I'm about to hurt somebody. I'm not crying because I'm hurt. I'm crying because you shouldn't be hurt.
Well, that doesn't sound very petty to me. We were talking about petty.
Oh, is that petty? Because I don't like to hurt people.
Well, if you physically hurt somebody or whatever, I don't think that's petty unless you like do something like pinch them, you know what I mean, or give them a frog or what's the other thing? I don't know. White people be doing nipple twisters. I don't think that's even funny. You know what I'm saying? Like, black people ain't into nipple twisters. Mess around and catch a sexual assault over that. But anyway, yeah, like I was I'm starting to say, the big picture is made of a bunch of small details. Small details make the big picture sharper, clearer. So when we're dealing with people who take little jabs, that take little stabs, or you know, make little gestures, it can cause a lot of damage if there are enough incidences of those things happening. So they may happen to you, or you may do those things to somebody else. But when we talk about your inability or your unwillingness to match that type of energy towards somebody else, or vice versa, where somebody refuses to match your energy or whatever, you know, we're talking about a situation where there may be questions about why aren't you doing this when you could easily end this fight, or or you could easily stop this situation in its tracks. But it may not be a good idea or a good situation in order to do this. So it can make it harder on you when you know that you're a giant and you are being controlled by some midgets. Is somebody there's music like in the background or whatever? Is somebody riding in the car? All right, I know how to find out who it is. I know who it was. You know, not to be petty, but when people haven't ever called in before, you know, they might not understand the dynamics of the background. You got to respect the mic. Shut his mic off. Shut his mic off. All right. So yeah, but it can be a tough situation, you know, mentally and emotionally. And it's not easy. It's not always easy. Okay. Oh, okay. All right. For example, when we're teaching children with how to defend themselves, we often will be gentle with our children. When we're teaching our children how to retaliate or whatever, we're gentle with them. When we're teaching our children what hurts and what doesn't hurt, we're often gentle with our children. Like, if you ever see a father playing around with his kids, and like, let's say he's playing around with his little boy, and his little boy shakes his hand, and his father's like, "Oh my goodness, oh," you know, the little boy is only 1 or 2 years old, and the dad is like, "Oh my God, you're hurting me! Oh my goodness, boy, you so strong. You stronger than Bam Bam. Woo! My goodness, you stronger than your grandfather." You know, we're playing around with our children, but we're instilling confidence in them. We're letting them know that they have certain abilities to be able to affect things. You know what I'm saying? So we're letting them appear stronger than they really are in order to increase their confidence, in order to be consistent in allowing them to start to believe in themselves, and to get them to practice and to stay the course. When we're adults, or when those children are adults, we have to make them aware of the way that they affect other people. We have to make sure they understand the gravity of their actions and their words. I hope y'all understand what I'm talking about when I'm talking about that, because it can be a serious situation when you allow somebody to be oblivious to the way that they affect other people with the things that they say, with the things that they do, with being rude, with being careless, with being crass, with disregarding other people's feelings. When we allow them to get away with that, because we have been taught that it's better to take the high road, or we have been taught that it's better to seek a different solution than the one that they are almost forcing you into. It can take a toll on your emotional stability. Like, I shouldn't be letting these motherfuckers that are corny or that are weak or that are whack, I shouldn't be letting them beat me. But we may have to remember the child that we made believe that they were hurting us by shaking our hand. We may have to remember that and go back to that. Let's talk about Michelle Obama. Michelle Obama got dissed worse than any first lady I've ever heard of. You know, out there in the streets with gangsters and street thugs and all of that, normally people's families and kids are off limits. Not all the time. Not all the time. But normally and often. Well, the president of the United States was Barack Hussein Obama. And whether you like Barack Obama or not, the ribbing, the insults, the disrespect that was shown towards him, but especially his wife, who was not a politician, was off the charts. And what did Michelle Obama say all the time? When they go low, we go high. She said it time and time again. And they constantly kept going low. And she constantly preached going high, taking the high road. Many of us respected her for that. I remember thinking to myself, like, man, fuck that. But I understood. I understood that as the first lady who was determined to prove that the first family ever to grace the White House was not going to conduct themselves in any way that could be looked at as being anything less than classy. She exuded, expounded, expelled, and just put out class. But it wasn't easy. It wasn't easy. Because you look at Michelle Obama, I don't know what y'all see, but I see raw intelligence. She's a damn Harvard graduate. She's a lawyer. She ain't dumb. But she come from the south side of Chicago. You ain't going to tell me that she ain't learned to be... She a Capricorn. Born January 17th. You ain't going to tell me she don't know how to hurl insults. She a Capricorn. Born January 17th. From the south side of Chicago. That's smart enough to be a graduate of Harvard. A lawyer. You don't think she knew how to handle those Republicans? Like, y'all motherfuckers got to be kidding me. Y'all got to be kidding. Y'all, but she could have shut that thing down. But she chose a different way because she knew that if she put that stain of disdain on the first black family to be inside the White House, that it was going to have long-term repercussions, long-term ramifications. And she wasn't going to allow that. So she exercised self-control beyond measure, beyond our wildest dreams. Because I know that I was cheering her on to say something, but I understood why she didn't. And I know that many of y'all were cheering her on to say something, but I think we all understood.
90 seconds.
She was real. But that's about the most glaring and most popular or visible example that I can think of self-control and allowing them to be petty.
60 seconds.
While you couldn't be petty. You know, shout out to Michelle Obama. You know, she went through a lot, man. They was calling her a gorilla, all kinds of, I mean, they was going, it was crazy. Then the next president, they come in 45 talking about something. And people talking about something. No other president has ever been disrespected the way he, like, get the fuck out of here. You must be crazy. Y'all all have short-term memory loss. You must be out of your mind. You're crazy. Crazy. They could be petty, but you can't. They can be petty, but not you. Not you. You're the boss. You can't be in that pettiness. It's going to affect your bottom line. You're a manager. You can't be petty. It's going to affect your status as a leader. It's going to make people wonder if you're qualified or if you're the right man for this job, and it can affect your bottom line. It can affect your future. It can affect your ability to put food on the table for your family. And not only that, but it can affect your family directly, because the way that you act, the way that you conduct yourself sets an example for your children and for your woman or your man or whatever, if you're a woman or whatever. They can be petty, but you can't. What they say, everything ain't for everybody. Well, that might not be for you in those situations. That ain't for you, homie. Sorry, that ain't for you. You can't do that. You can't do that. And how many times have we saw somebody do something and you saw somebody else try to copy off of what they did and they fell flat? Like, you seen this dude over here, he was able to get girls just going up to him being like, yo, shorty, what's up? And you try that shit. Oh, you saw the dude go up to the girls and be like, yo, shorty, what's up? Let me get your number real quick. And then you seen it actually work. Meanwhile, you try the shit. Yo, shorty, what's up? Hey, yo, shorty, what's up? Let me get your number real quick. Boy, if you don't get the fuck, not the same. They can do what you can't do. Their time is their time. Your time is your time. You need to learn how to use it more wisely. But you can't do what they do. That ain't for you. It's not your time, son. It's not your time. So, yeah, they can be petty, but you can't for whatever reason. It's not your time to do that. But I would say to anybody who feels bad about that, don't feel bad about not being petty. It means small. It means insignificant. It means what was the other definition? Trivial. It means trivial. Make sure y'all hit that like button. Don't be petty. Don't be petty. Make sure y'all share the show. Make sure that y'all subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet. Please, I would appreciate it. Don't be petty. Be down, man. Be down. Be down. Be down. But yeah, they can be petty. They can be petty, but you can't. It be like that. All right. We getting ready to get on up out of here. Yes, we are. We getting ready to get up out of here. I'm going to allow y'all to go ahead and enjoy the rest of y'all beautiful day on this. And a condolences shout out to anybody and everybody and those hurricanes. I'm sorry. And those tornadoes, for not just the people who lost people or the people who died, but also for the people who were affected by it, by losing their homes, having their neighborhoods, damaged beyond repair. My deepest condolences when it comes to that. So, many of y'all may have family that may have been affected by that. You know what I'm saying? I think I do. Maybe not blood family, but I definitely have family down in those areas that were affected by that. So, all right, y'all. We're going to do these birthday shout outs, and then we're going to get up out of here. We have some birthday shout outs to do. Some people were born on this glorious. Excuse me. Oh, wait. We have another call on the line? Hold on. We got a little bit of time. Caller with the last numbers 7605. Welcome to the Urban Therapy with Sun show. How are you?
Hi, good afternoon.
Hi.
I'm okay. Thank you. Hello to the other callers. Yeah, I was just kind of sitting here chilling, waiting. I'm not going to take up too much of your time. And I'm not sure if you guys already covered like the after effects, like the effects of having to not be petty when somebody else is being petty.
I tried, but they wasn't talking. It's like, but no, we covered it a little bit, but go ahead and say what you guys say.
So I was just gonna say before, I mentioned in the chat that I felt like I always had to take the high road with my ex-husband.
Mm.
And one of the effects of that for me was me being emotionally distant. And we have a blended family. So where the kids felt like they had to take sides, even though it was like, you don't have to do that. And then, we have adult children. And some of them, well, two of them are like pretty petty. So I take the high road with them as well. And so now I felt like I've had to emotionally distance myself from them, and mentally distance myself from them in order to protect myself and to protect the healing that may come later on. Because if I engage with them the way that they have engaged with me, and some of the petty is subtle with the kids, the older children, but of course with my ex-husband, get kind of ugly, or has gotten ugly. Nowadays it's kind of chill because I've taken the high road so much that he knows he can't even touch me.
Okay.
But I think that's an unfortunate side effect of having to, it's like being put in a position where you have to do that.
Yeah, that really does sound tough. I want to ask you a question about when you decided to take the high road when it came to your adult children. What was the reason that you felt that it was necessary to be that way?
Well, let me just say that my adult children, these two particular children, one, I've been, I'm the only mother that they know since they were like one when we got custody, and the other they were 8. So it's not like it was not a situation where I came in and they were teenagers or young adults or something like that. We raised these children together. So in my mind, it's like, I'm not going to feed into your petty because I realize that you may be going through the emotions, even though you're adults, the same emotions that maybe a middle schooler or, like a child might be going through when they have divorced parents. So I'm looking at a big picture. I'm not just looking at this instance, no matter how much those instances hurt or bothered me. I'm looking at it like, this is not all there is, because we shared an entire life filled with love. And so this is just a moment. This is just a moment in time. And so I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt, and believe that there was more to the time and the love that we shared than what you're showing right now.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I don't afford their father the same, but I afford my children that courtesy. And so I said, now they know I can be an ass. And so I said, well, I could go full asshole and jump in the petty pool, or I can take the high road and let this sort itself out. Because, when you are a young adult, you think you know more than you actually know. So you come to learn that, hey, you know what? What I thought I knew, it's not it. There's more to it.
Okay.
But that was the reason.
Okay. And
I was looking at a bigger picture.
And I take that as making sure that you set an example, not just for them, but maybe for the younger ones. You know what I mean? To let them know that if you're going to follow an example, follow the ones I'm trying to set for you that will benefit you better than the one that you see these younger ones trying to set because they may lack understanding and insight at the time. They're just basically acting off of their own emotions. And when our negative emotions are fed and when they are encouraged, it has a snowball effect. It rolls downhill, and you're wondering like, wow, so I have a whole family of Facebook and Instagram. You know what I'm saying? It's just like ridiculous.
Yeah, right.
So yeah,
that's a perfect example.
Yeah, because it gets reinforced.
Right.
Negative reinforcement.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
Mm-hmm.
And you hit it right on the head because I was thinking about their younger siblings, and they're young, because you don't always realize how much your children are watching, and so when the rest of the children were watching and seeing how it played out, it was like, you know what, this is you. This is you and your reaction. This is not, she's not responding to you in the same way. She doesn't talk to you in the same way. She's not feeding into that energy. And that really spoke to them. And so then they said to themselves, this is a way that I want to conduct myself. I'm not going to feed into someone else's BS just because I'm feeling a certain way emotionally. And I tried to provide an example of self-control, because I'm gonna tell you, I mean, you guys see me in the chat, I'm cutting all the way up. So it's not that I can't be petty, because I absolutely can, but I also know that had I jumped in, I'm emotional, they're emotional, we're both being petty, that might be a door that would remain closed. And I love my children too much to allow that to happen. Mm. So in order for that door to not remain closed, it was like, I would rather distance myself from you right now, emotionally, and allow you get your shit off, right, true, right, okay. Well, we disagree on that, but whenever you really want to sit down and have a serious conversation and talk about what's really real, I'm here and I'm available, but I'm not gonna play the game the way that you're playing it. Yeah. And so that gives them something to think about. That gives me something, to think about, is something that I have to accept, they have to accept, but I wanted to leave that door open and be an example. So you were absolutely right that was on my mind as well, setting an example for the rest of their siblings.
Yeah, I totally get it. But from what I'm hearing, you probably could have taken another route, and it probably would have been reinforced and probably even respected. But sometimes you have to see the bigger picture. Like, just because you win that day doesn't necessarily it doesn't always transfer. You can't always transfer those credits down the line. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But listen,
which route?
I'm sorry. What'd you say?
I said, which route are you referring to?
I
could have taken another route.
Yeah, instead of taking into consideration your younger children that you were trying to set a positive example for, all of you could have just gone in that same disrespect bag and just been going toe to toe, back and forth with each other with the pettiness or with the disrespect, and it probably would have gone over well, because that might have been reinforcing the culture that was there. But you had to see the bigger picture and say, no, this isn't our real culture. This is really a counterculture. I'm going to show y'all what the real culture is supposed to be. And you can run into a lot of problems with people who mistake the counterculture as the real culture. It's the I don't know what you're talking about. My grandmother lived to be 97 and she ate pork and smoked cigarettes every day. It's that effect. You know what I'm saying? Everybody got a grandmother that smoked, drank, and ate ham sandwiches every day and lived to be 97 or somewhere around there. You know what I'm saying? You know, but you know, nobody's grandmother is in good company when they was doing that shit. No, the urban legend grandma with eating all that pork, smoking all that nicotine, drinking all that liquor. All right, but listen, I want to thank you for calling in. I really appreciate it. Especially on the late side of things, but I got to get to these birthday shout outs. So
thank you for taking my call.
I appreciate you calling in and appreciate the insight. You have a great day.
No problem.
All right.
You too, thanks.
All right. So we have some birthday shout out to do. Some people born on this glorious December 12th, and they deserve to be acknowledged. So let's go about our business up acknowledging them and making them feel special because they are special, because they are special, because they are S-P-E-C-I-A-L. They get the R-E-S-P-E-C-T. They are S-P-E-C-I-A-L. They get the R-E-S-P-E-C-T. They are S-P-E-C-I-A-L. They get the R-E-S-P-E-C-T. They get number one out the box, Reno Rex. Happy birthday to you. And Yvette Kamara, happy birthday to you. And Debbie Sutherland, turning 48 years old today. And Diane Robinson, turning 55 years old today. And Tasha Cannon, turning 48 years old today. And Yaina Irel Acosta, turning 30 years old today. And Kat E. Banks, turning 30 years old today. And Dahomey Radigan, happy birthday to you. And my girl, Charlene Kunta Jones, dopest name ever. Charlene Kunta Jones turning 37 years old today. And last but not least, a go-getter going all the way back to the 2005. Debbie Coker Robinson, Deborah Coker Robinson, turning 62 years old today. I want to say happy birthday to all of you and anyone else out there who shares this birthday on this glorious December 12th, anywhere out there in the world, worldwide, internationally, and universally. All of y'all go ahead and turn up. But don't turn up too loud. Just turn up loud enough so everybody can hear you. Rock out. Rock on it, do the damn, the rock out. Rock on it, do the damn, rock out. Rock on it, do the damn thing. You do your thing, y'all. Represent the queens and kings and do the thing, y'all. Represent the queens and kings. Good things happen to those who wait. Great things happen to those who grind. And anything can happen to those who go for theirs. So go hard, go for yours, and remember, man, yeah, they might be petty, but you might not be able to match their petty at the time because it's not their time. It's your time to set a real, better example and no crime. Yeah, people will come at your neck and they will do whatever they think that they can do or should do in order to make you feel bad about yourself, but they may be going against themselves and hurting themselves in the long run, and you may be the one to show them exactly why that's the case. I want to thank y'all all for coming through and checking out the Urban Therapy with Sun show. Make sure that y'all hit that like button. Make sure that y'all share the show. Make sure that y'all subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, and look for us right here on this YouTube channel between 11 p.m. and 11:30 p.m. Monday through Friday, because we will be coming through. I'm going to make it happen, y'all. We're going to do it. We're going to do it. We can't do it at 7 p.m. for the time being. But until we get back to that, I still will be bringing y'all videos every single day, bringing y'all this content. And I hope y'all enjoyed this content that I'm bringing y'all. So with that being said, Peace to all my day ones, my everydays, and my brand news. I love y'all to death. Resuscitate y'all and love y'all right back to life. Yeah, baby. So. You make me so. For my Instagrammers, yo, Five Slammer Jammer, thanks for coming on through and let me exercise my grammar. So I move like please. And yes, I am. I'm like please. And for my blog talkers, I gonna get back. I get back to you. I get back. I holler back. I do. And for my YouTubers, you know just how we do, but thanks for coming on through. I see y'all on the other side, my boobers. Y'all had the best day. No matter what. All right.
Thank you for using Blog Talk Radio. Goodbye.
Come on, man. Let's slow